Here's something you don't see very often: a consumer using a $2 bill in a cash transaction. Or something more uncommon, a vendor giving $2 bills in change. Why doesn't this happen more frequently? Hi, I'm John, director of the $2 Bill documentary, and welcome to the latest in my series of videos where I answer your questions about the $2 bill. Remember, you can post a question to the community page of my channel, and if I make a future video answering that question, I'll send you a crisp new $2 bill. For this episode, we have two people who are going to win a $2 bill because they asked very similar questions. Duke Nukem wanted to know, why are $2 bills so uncommonly used? And LT Express Gaming asked, why aren't $2 bills more regularly used in American society? Well, to answer those questions, we should start by taking a peek into the $2 bill's history. The first $2 bill was issued in 1862 as one of the first denominations of federally issued currency. It saw a number of different designs through the end of the 1800s, in forms such as treasury notes and silver certificates. George Washington even made his way onto one of the bills. But many soon believed the bill to be cursed with bad luck.
After the late 1880s, when all these ones started to appear and they started to overwhelm the number of $2 notes out there, people would just stack them together. And the problem is, if you're not paying attention, you're going to shortchange yourself. And so how do you distinguish between a 1 and a 2 and a stack of bills? You tear a corner off of the 2s, and then you know when you hit the corner, you've hit a 2. And after a while, this aura of a curse appeared, because if you consider shortchanging yourself a curse, the way to end that curse is to tear a corner off a note so that you don't shortchange yourself.
The idea of a curse and the torn corners that came with it unfairly followed the $2 bill into the 1930s. Then its usage declined further during the Great Depression. By the mid-1950s, Americans had become more used to other denominations. The $2 bill, infrequently used and becoming more and more scarce in the public eye, was discontinued in 1966. Fast forward 10 years to 1976. The $2 bill has been redesigned and is being issued to celebrate the nation's bicentennial. It also saves the government on printing costs, since they can get the same amount of currency by printing half as many bills. But getting people to use it was going to be a challenge.
It was different for the $2 bill because it hadn't existed at all since '66, and even then, it was rarely seen.
Steve Sarl, a public information officer at the Department of the Treasury in 1976, saw the struggle firsthand.
We did issue a press release to consumers and businesses. Yes, the federal government is asking you to use it. To banks, we said, you must use it. You must put it into change.
And that they did. The new 2 was released on April 13, 1976, a celebration of Thomas Jefferson's birthday. But Americans' reactions were decidedly mixed.
Once it was issued, we had thousands and thousands of phone calls from businesses and consumers. And I was the key guy to handle those phone calls. Now remember, this is phone calls, landline, with extensions, and all the red buttons were lining up all at the same time for weeks, literally. I spent most of my days just answering calls. And those calls really fell into two camps. One camp which was, what the heck is this? This is weird, this isn't real, where do I return these? I'm sending these back. What's your address at the Treasury Department? And the other half of the calls were, gee, what a great thing, this is fantastic. I'll go get 10 of them at the bank and I'll put them away and someday they'll be worth $1,000. And we really had to very forcefully say, no, please go out and spend them, that's the idea.
I certainly got as many as I could and I started spending them, but I know I didn't start getting many back in return.
As any numismatist will tell you, once there's a new issue of something that's unique, everybody's going to grab one and stick it away in a drawer.
Once they made the bill, this novel bill, people just kind of started to hoard them.
I have several at home. And I don't spend them.
It's in storage at my mom's house. I had a bunch of $2 bills that I just kept. I don't know why. I have no idea why.
It seemed special. It seemed more unusual. I mean, I can't think of words to explain it.
I think the artwork, it was really interesting. It was different than any of the other bills.
And I think maybe there is some credence to that thought that this is just too beautiful to spend.
And so people might well have just thought of this as, well, it's something special for the bicentennial. I'm going to go home and keep this.
Clearly there was this multi-generational sort of passing the bills down through the generations.
That's where people end up with the $2 bills and birthday cards and Christmas presents and savings accounts. So the banks didn't order them. It kind of fell by the wayside.
It was great for a while. I don't know how long, a year, maybe two, and then it faded.
The Treasury got stuck with sheets of twos in the vault, and in '78 they basically ended production for a while.
The $2 bill has never really recovered since then. The stigma of it being a novelty, a rare bill, or something to be hoarded has been hard to shake. There are still plenty of people who use them, and they're still being made. But until more Americans start to make them a regular part of their cash spending, I'm afraid the perception of $2 bills will never change. So there you go. I would encourage everyone out there to get and use $2 bills more often so that maybe someday they'll become more commonplace. I hope you subscribe to my channel, and if you want to see some more great $2 bill content, YouTube is suggesting some for you right up here. Thanks again for watching.